Okay, then. Good evening, or if you're watching this in the morning, then good morning. It is me, your girl, Queen Nandi, and I'm here with our motivation call for Monday. Um, as you can see, this week it's we're talking about the messages staying motivated when nothing is happening, and also staying motivated when you don't feel motivated yourself. Okay. um Typically, right, I would prefer to be in like really high energy and feeling energized, and also for it to be first thing in the morning. um but you know, it's this challenge, right? And just shepherding this mastermind group is really teaching me a lot, when it comes to like my programming in regards to like perfectionism, you know, and just always striving to be perfect and be number one and 100%, you know. And just like that, if you're not first, you're last mentality, you know. Um, so I'm really learning a lot as far as just to show more grace to myself. And like literally done is better than perfect. It's better to have it completed and done than having it sitting on the back burner, waiting for everything to be just right, you know. Um, and also like in how our devotional, right, the 21 days with Elijah and Elisha, is also emphasizing about how God is, what should I say? God is more excited, more turned on about the beginning, the small things, you know, when a thing is just getting started. Whereas people, you know, are more so excited and turned on when it's the finished product. You know, nobody really want to be around with you while you're going through your struggle, while you're going through it. You know, like the Drake song, "You wasn't with me shooting in the gym." You know, you of course you want to be there to celebrate. You know, now that I'm on top, now that I'm winning championships, I'm getting the rings, I'm getting the notoriety, right? I'm getting the fame, I'm getting the money. Yeah, that excites you. That turns you on. You want to come around and you want to be a part of that, right? But God is more so excited and turned on and wanting to be involved in the beginning stages. You know, God wants to be there with you while you're shooting in the gym, when you are practicing your free throws, when you know, you're doing, you know, 300 free throws a day just for that you can perfect your form. And you know what I'm saying? People, they don't want to be around for that part. You know what I'm saying? When you a nobody, they don't want to be around for that part. They want to come around when everything is big and it's complete and it's at the end. So that is just helping for me to feel, to change the way I think, right? Change the way I think instead of conforming to society, and also too feeling like, oh, it's better when it's bigger and it's, you know, boom boom boom, you know. It's like I said, like even with this class, wanting for it to be all these students, you know, and it's like your class is, you still have the work to do whether you have one student or whether you have 100 students. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into what it is that I have to share for us about staying motivated when nothing is happening. Okay, so first thing is to lean into routine and consistency. Okay, and that's why I'm very grateful for this 21-day challenge and the fact that we have been doing it. And then also, too, right, with us taking that week break, you know, and getting out of this flow, um, it had really thrown me off. It's like basically starting all the way over. In comparison to in the past when we would just slide right on through and it was no, it was just continuous. It was no break. It was still just every day doing the same thing. Um, I really feel like those 7 days of not of breaking was really kind of detrimental and threw it off track a little bit. But it's good to see that, right? That's another reason why I wanted to utilize Mercury retrograde on purpose. Okay, for to be able to see all of the things, the minor details, the I's that need to get dotted and the T's that still needs to get crossed. What is the bugs that need to get tweaked, right, and things like that. Okay, so when you don't feel motivated, right, when you feel like nothing is happening, you feel like you want to just give up, you at the end of your road, lean into your routine, lean into consistency, and just do what you have been doing, not because for any other reason except for this, just for to be consistent, because this is what I have already been doing. This is what I do every day. I get up, I listen to the prayer, I do my journaling, excuse me, I every day I do some form of exercise. Like, it's not even about it's not even about the end goal at this point, right? Because like I said, we don't feel motivated, but we're just doing it to because we have been doing it. Okay, so leaning in on the routines and leaning in on just the fact of consistency. um I'm in another group, a fitness group, and the young lady who is the leader of that group, right? It's a 30-day movement challenge. So every day we do 30 crunches for the 30 days of January. Even though I think January has 31 days. I think January has 31 days, not 30. But that's neither here nor there. But so it's 30 days of doing 30 crunches every day. And like, I know that I'm not going to necessarily have washboard abs as a result of me doing 30 crunches every day for 30 days. That's a little bit unrealistic because, I got a little bit of more weight that will have to get released first in order to be able to see those abs, right? But I noticed that me doing those crunches, like, it's making my body stronger. Like, my core is super weak. Like when I'm doing yoga, certain yoga poses, when it's calls for core strength, my shit be shaking like a stripper in Magic City, and motherfucking Drake just came in. Okay. But seriously, so it's some days like I'll get to the end of the day and I'm like, oh, I didn't do my crunches yet. But because just for the consistency, just for the routine of it, just for the habit of it, you know what I'm saying? And then that's also what kind of have motivated me to come on and make sure that I put out this video for us today on Monday. Okay. I had already did my notes earlier in the day. And I was planning to record this video a couple of times. Like, when I first got back home at like 2 o'clock, I'm like, I can record it then, but I was exhausted. I was exhausted. And so then I'm telling myself, well, you can just wait till Tuesday. Do it on Tuesday. Do it in the morning when you feel refreshed and you feel energized. But no, I want to be consistent. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the routine. The motivation call happens on Monday, not on Tuesday. So just continue to do what you've been doing, right? Another way to stay motivated when nothing is happening, when you don't feel motivated, is to seek out inspirational energy. Seek out inspirational energy. Seek out people who inspire you. Okay? I say this all of the time. Find someone who is doing whatever it is that you want to do. Because trust and believe is somebody that is currently living the life that you feel like it's a dream come true. It's their current reality. It already exists. The fact that you can, the fact that you have a desire for their life lets you know it's already real. It already exists. Okay. So tune in to the people who are already living their life. You know what I'm saying? And then also tune into people who are being inspirational on purpose. So I want to. I'm big on words and the etymology. So the definition for inspire. Well, inspire first is a verb, which means it's an action word. To inspire is an action. It's something that you do. It's a thing done, right? Okay. So to inspire means to fill someone with the urge or the ability to do or feel something. To fill someone with the urge or the ability to do something or to feel something, especially something creative. Okay, and then the second definition for inspire means to bring the spirit in, to bring the breath in. Okay, so this is kind of getting a little bit deep, but to say that the breath is spirit. Okay, another definition for inspire is to awaken. And I thought that was kind of interesting because they were saying to inspire means to breathe in, right? So in Genesis 2:7, it kind of just confirms that to inspire means to fill someone with the spirit, right? So Genesis 2:7 says, "And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul." And so when we go back to the dictionary definition of inspire, it means to bring the spirit in, to breathe in, to fill someone with the urge to do something, to awaken, to ignite, to trigger, right? These are all words that mean inspire. Let me see right quick the synonyms that they have. To stimulate, wait, no, this is not the ones I want. To arouse, to awaken, to ignite, to bring about, to give rise to cause, to be the cause of, okay? All those are all synonyms for inspire. So when someone inspires you, that means that they are helping you. First of all, not helping, they're filling you up with the spirit. They're filling you up with life. They're making you more back alive. They're bringing that air, breathing that air, the spirit back into you. Okay? Especially, like I said, to do something. So, somebody, when you tune into them, okay, and for people that inspire me, somebody who's very inspirational to me is number one, Rick Ross. Also Coach Stormy, but Stormy is on, she's like up and she's, I don't know. She is still an inspiration to me, but like her spirit is not all the way right. Okay, so that's another thing that's coming up. Like, I just recorded today's prayer before coming on here, probably about an hour before coming on here, actually. And that was one of the things that came up is, there are false prophets who know how to speak very well, okay? But you gotta test the spirit to see that it is true. See what spirit are they trying to fill you up with, okay? Okay. But so that's neither here nor there. What I'm trying to say is, so when I listen to Rick Ross, and also sometimes when I listen to Coach Stormy, but I'm gonna use Rick Ross as an example. When I listen to Rick Ross, I put him on YouTube, or even he has his morning glory, right? In the morning on his Instagram story, he'll post a little something inspirational, right? And show his ashy toes walking around, on his land. And Rick Ross said, he's a real nigga, so he's gonna let his toes stay ashy. That's hilarious to me. But after I listen to him, I feel like, boom. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, let me get up. Let me go do it. You know, also what inspired me this morning, it's a lady named Saudia. They just call her Saud. And she owns a restaurant in Philadelphia called Country Cooking. Right? And you know, that is also a desire that I have in mind, right? So when I see Saw, I watch her for, you know, like, because she's somebody that's doing something that I want to do, right? And when I watched her, it was a video this morning. She had Trina come to her shop, to her restaurant, and all that. And after seeing that, it just made me feel like, come on, girl, get up. You know, even though you feel like you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and feel like the world is against you, get up anyway. Okay, so seek out that inspirational energy. Seek it out. You know, find the people who inspire you, and when you don't feel motivated, tune into them so that you can, because energy is contagious, okay? All right, another way to stay motivated when nothing is happening, right? It feels like everything is just not, no progress is being made. How do you stay motivated? You got to have a reason why it's going to make you cry. Why are you even doing what you're doing in the first place? If it's a weak reason, it's going to be easy for you to abandon it, right? But and that's why we go all the way back to the beginning. That's where I start. That's where we started. The first lesson, the very first lesson we had. Why are you going through your healing process? Why are you even doing this? Why are you going through this program? You know what I'm saying? Why are you doing this? What is the reason? Okay? And like I told you, for me, I ain't trying to be associated with narcissists. I want to dead that part of my life. I no longer want to be going through this empath, narcissist, mind game, power struggle. I'm over it. You know what I'm saying? And then another reason why is because I want to elevate. I don't want to stay in this plane of existence. I want to elevate to a higher level of reality. Okay? This struggle, I do not find comfort here. I am not comfortable here, right? And I'm not going to just settle for this version of reality and settle for some man who wants to go 50-50 with me, okay? Please. All right? And so sometimes, okay, then let's move into the next one. How do you stay motivated when nothing is happening? How do you stay motivated when you don't feel like it? Sometimes you just need to fucking relax. Sometimes you just need to relax, and that's what it is, okay? We have to remember that I am in partnership with God. You're not just doing it by yourself. God is in this thing with you, okay? And I was, because today I'm not feeling 100%, like, it's like, spiritual attack. So what I do, I pray, and I go into my word. And I said, Lord, give me your word. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord led me to Isaiah 54:5, which says, for your maker is your husband. Wow, wow, wow. For your maker is your husband. The Lord of heaven's armies is his name. The Holy One of Israel is your redeemer. He is called the God of all the earth. That's Isaiah 54:5. If you want to look it up for yourself. But that verse is telling me, like, it's just kind of really confirming to say the affirmation, I am in partnership with God. God is my husband, okay? And I had already, it's so funny, I guess it's just the alignment, because I had already made up my mind when somebody asked me, do you have a man? My answer is yes, right? And so somebody kind of got me in a trick bag today because they asked me, where is your man? So I said, he's on the way. He's on the way. I don't know exactly where he's at, but he's on the way. Right? And so God is saying, baby girl, I'm your man. I'm your husband, okay? And to think like all of the the qualities that we put on a husband, to put all that onto God, you know, and to say, instead of me looking like, well, I want some, because this is what it was. Man was telling me I should be, it's better to get a man who wants to go 50-50 with you, because it's only 1% of niggas that's actually going to be able to provide for you in a way to where they can pay all your bills. And he said, then also too, you have to remember it's sacrifices you're going to have to make for a nigga who's going to be able to provide for you financially, as far as time. Right? He's not going to have that much time for you. And this man wasn't nothing but a false prophet, for real, for real. He, you know what I'm saying? For real, seriously, because everything that he was, like every argument that he had, oh, women want this, women want that. I'm like, that's not me. That's not me though. No. You know what I'm saying? He's like, all y'all want is, y'all just want the money. You want the money. I said, I want more than money. So that ain't me. Oh, y'all be on Section 8 and some. I'm not on no Section 8. And ain't nobody helping me with this. And then he had the nerve to say that my apartment complex giving me the opportunity to live here was them helping me. I said, that don't even make sense. I still had to come with that bread. And they let me in because I said it wasn't nothing but commerce. That was exchange. They had an apartment available for rent, and I had the money to pay for it. There was no help. There was no handout. Right? And I think that he was having a hard time to accept the fact that here was a woman who wasn't fitting in this mold that he had made for all women. He believed that life is just so easy for women, you know. But that's aside. But see, that's even more reason for me to say, yes, I'm in partnership with God, because these niggas could never. For real, for real. You don't even deserve to be my husband. You don't deserve to claim me as your queen. You don't. So, how you stay motivated sometimes you don't need to, sometimes you just need to just chill the fuck out. And remember that you're not doing this by yourself, that God is your partner, right? God is your husband, okay? And that's what a husband is here for, to provide and to protect, right? And sometimes, like, you know, when you feeling like I'm stressing about this, what is it that your husband will do? Your husband, your man, will come in and say, baby, don't worry about it, don't stress, just relax, I got it. Right? Right? Or wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's what your man gonna tell you. That's your man, that's your husband. He gonna say, baby, don't worry about it, don't stress, chill out. Just relax, baby. I'm going to handle it. And then he's gonna go leave out, and he's gonna come back, and he's gonna say everything's good. Boom. Okay? You just sit here and you relax. Take a bath, meditate, journal, get your mind right, do whatever it is you gotta do to get yourself in order, baby, because I'm gonna do the heavy lifting, okay? Ain't that good? So, yeah, after today, I'm pretty much set. I already have my mind set up that I'm just like, shoot, my man, I got a man, yes, and his name is Jesus, okay? And that's my confirmation. Yeah, God is my husband. You know, shoot, if I had to be single until the end of my days, then that's just what it's gonna be. Because I refuse to settle, okay? But I don't think that's gonna be the case. I really do believe that God will send me somebody who will be an embodiment of all the things it is that I'm wanting, right? In the meantime, though, I'm not gonna settle. And so that also comes back around to staying motivated. Like, doesn't matter. Like, how do you stay motivated when nothing is happening? Right? It doesn't matter about what it looks like. It doesn't matter what's happening. Right? What matters is I know what it is that I want. I know where it is that I'm going. And I'm just going to continue until I get there. Right? It's giving, get rich or die trying vibes. Okay? So that is our motivational message for today, for this week. Right? I pray that you will take these words and this message with you into this week, and that it will encourage you, and that it will inspire you, right, to just to continue to move forward, to just continue to Go for what you want. Do not settle. Do not give up. Do not give in. Right? Especially to the words of somebody. Man, be careful. Be mindful of people who speak a little bit too good. They talking, and that's just like everything they say sounds so good. Be wary of somebody who is a great speaker. They speak so good. They like everything they say. It's like it's hardly any room. All you can say is, well, yeah, that do make sense. Yeah, that do make sense. Be mindful of those people, okay? Because sometimes they are nothing more than a false prophet coming to lead you astray. All right. So let's wrap it all up. How can you stay motivated when nothing is happening? Lean in on your routine. Lean in on consistency. Continue to do what you have already been doing. Seek out that inspirational energy. If you don't already have people, right, find them. Seek them out. Okay. And once you know the people that inspire you, tune in to those people on purpose. So on a day like today, you feeling kind of funky, you ain't really feeling it, go on those people page, go on their YouTube, read their book, whatever. Tune into their energy, okay? And then sometimes you just gotta relax. And remember, you in partnership with God, okay? You in partnership with God. God got your back. God is not a man, okay? He is a spirit, all right? And his word is true. He keeps his word. Excuse me. So God bless me and God bless you. Peace.